Welcome to more Gran Turismo 5 Specialtatin. Today we're featuring Le Mans various years race at Indy Speedway, and for this one it can go from anywhere from the 80s Group C's to the modern, well, for the time of the early 2010s, Le Mans cars, prototype type thing. I am in the Toyota Monota, and this particular race, if you haven't already been able to tell, is dirty. Although one thing I'm not gonna do for the race is switch to a different car, because anytime you press anything, the track and all that comes up. That is one of the negatives of GT5 is there's no way to only have on the, well, what data is on screen here. If you try and change any setting that isn't just the view, it makes it to where the whole track map and all that ugly stuff comes up. So that is kind of a negative in of an older game. You could argue though the racing is a bit of a negative at the moment though. But I'll put it like this. Trust me. The ending, there's some fireworks. There's a reason I'm doing this for America's 250th anniversary. To be fair, I ain't exactly in an American car. It would have been nice if at some point there was an American car that would be a true, like Le Mans prototype thing throughout the years, but I guess Cadillac sort of kind of has something close nowadays. Hopefully where we're getting all of the newer, or, well, I guess that's the point. We're not really getting all of the newer Le Mans hypercars in GT7. Hopefully we get the Cadillac at some point. That would be nice. But yeah, between the late 80s and early 2010s, not so much for American dominance with Le Mans cars. The Viper itself dominated for its own category and such, but in terms of things that look like this, not so much. Yeah. But anyway, the racing actually is starting to look better now, and there's actually still a whole heck of a heap of racing to go. That's one of the beauties of dirty racing, is with boost and stuff, eventually, yes, folks, there will actually be some good racing, folks. Can I get the lead in this racing, folks? Well, one of the benefits as well of using this view is I can do something like this and zoom in. Yes, folks. I'm moving up. But even still, in dirty racing, there's some, well, up to go. I'll put it like that. As even as the field can be with boost and draft and such, it's still very much a tuning race. And, well, in GT5, I was not the worst tuner or anything like that. But by this point, I was pretty good at avoiding wrecks. So you can call that luck, you can call that skill, or whatever. With luck, folks. I am a needy dandy in the lead. So there's sort of kind of anniversary type thing for this race too. It's actually just by sheer dumb luck. This is actually the 13th anniversary of this race. Yes, folks, believe it or not, this race was actually done on July 4th, 2013. No way to outright prove that, but it actually was. So that indirectly somehow ties to that America 250th anniversary as well. So enjoy that little factoid of information right yonder while I suck. Also enjoy the fancy views and such, I guess. Maybe this would be a better time where I could switch into another car, even if it does end up ugly on one side of the screen. The racing would look a little bit prettier, but trust me, again, with boost and such, it ends up being alright towards the now. So I'm not going to go into tons of like super American references, like is America good towards the, well, now? Is it close to the total end? Never, because you know what? Just enjoy it. Indianapolis Motor Speedway has a whole heck of a heap of history, just like America. There's the references there. Obviously, relative to its field, Indy Speedway is a little bit older than America. Indy was the first oval track that I'm aware of, and also incredibly giant. America wasn't exactly the first country, and took a little bit to get incredibly giant, but You can take it as you may of what's truly giant about America now. But at this point, I was sort of kind of need a giant comeback. Yeah, we're back to kind of just the mediocreness of the field at the moment, but that car is coming up really cotton picking fast, so take that as you may. Didn't do anything though. One of the things I was always pretty cotton picking good at in dirty racing is predicting when a car was going to catch up on the straight, and then I could block it, but around the turns, well, not so much, and then that happened. To be fair, there's still a good bit of racing left to go. Obviously, the laps go relatively quick at this track. So let's, for now, I guess, look at the fancy cinematics and the wrecks and such. Yeah, that's pretty been cool. Right, and there's also different strategies with this, too. Some cars could go no downforce at all and wall ride, and that would be the fastest on the straights. Albeit, back in GT5, wall riding was a bit more iffy than it was now. Just how the physics actually work. The physics would naturally, whether realistic or not, who knows, make it to where just wall riding made the cars more loose and such. So wall riding on some tracks was more of a strategy than others, just like at any point in time, but on this particular track it wasn't exactly the dangerous strategy. As you can see, more cars than not are actually trying to make the turns. With this particular race, from what I remember, it was 750 performance point and like Le Mans type cars only, so that was pretty much as max as they went. So I'm pretty sure of what I did was a full downforce setup. Granted, this is also with the best turbocharger and all of that too. Ultimately, full downforce means I can do the turns as good as I can. So let's see how good that is. Well, first and foremost, I need to avoid wrecks, so that wasn't exactly the dandiest there. But yes, folks, look at the turn. Not too bad at this speed, as I gain a lot more speed, getting bump drafted and such. Yeah, maybe even still, I'm not exactly the dandiest of turning, but I wasn't exactly the dandiest of tuning, though, either back then. So again, let's go back to the cinematic for a little while, but we're actually getting relatively close to the nitty gritty. So cinematic for the time being, but ultimately, I will go into a more competitive-ish type view, depending on how you want to word it. Close to the end, but for now, one of the things to actually marvel in is Gran Turismo 5's beauty. For a PS3 game, in my opinion, Gran Turismo 5 was the best looking PS3 game at its best. Granted, this particular car is not the best, it's a standard car, but Indy Speedway in GT5, I would say, looked better than Indy Speedway in any NASCAR game on the PS4. I will say in NASCAR 25, the whole Indy thing looks better, road course, Speedway, whatever. But it took the PS5 really for that to happen, so take that as you may. As well, but nonetheless, again, yeah, you can sort of kind of take this race as you may. It's a little bit not the dandiest. But if you watch this long, definitely hang on for the end. The main reason I'm specialtating this race is to end, but still just to have an ultimate July 4th type celebration thing too. Nothing too serious. This isn't even really a team thing. There's no Team Mopar racing for manufacturers or whatever. This is purely just fun. And I figured that's the best way to go about today in particular. Is just purely just fun. Nothing too serious. Just enjoy the history and how far things have come. Some ways more than others. But as good as things were back then too is nice as well. As you can see, someone got pitted there too. That's always fun too when there's the cars getting pitted, because the way this works with the dirty racing is when a car gets pitted, it would give that car to who pitted them, because back in GT5 you could change cars with each other. Nowadays, because Polyphony Digital is greedy, not so much. I will say this, they are a Japanese company, so let's focus on the Americanness. So let's not look at the car, or apparently any cars around me. Yeah, that might not be the dandiest, but there we go. So yes, we really are to the nitty gritty. Here we're coming down to the final lap, and there is a whole heck of a heap of competition. Cars behind, fair few cars ahead. I'm gonna have to drop my ass off, plus get really cotton picking lucky, to be quite frank, to be able to have a chance to win in this one. But the drafters really cotton picking overpowered compared to real life. There's some wrecks of things that are going my way for now. Yeah, that car missed. That car was able to block okay, but not to successfully, I was able to save it better than a lot of others. There's still going to need to be some fighting in the front for me to have a chance, but I'll put it this way, there's a whole heck of a heap of my Ultra Toyotas up there. And there's one car way up there that's lapped, so ignore it. The ones that have the chance are the ones in draft here. Let's see who gets it, folks. It is going to be the Toyota GT1. That was an insane finish. The race overall was kind of mediocre, but I'll put it this way, it ended with some fireworks. So ultimately, all things considered, in the end, yeehaw! Happy 250th anniversary, United States of America. Can't possibly make a yeehaw enough for that.